As the world is battling a surge in Omicron variant, Japan is gearing up for the worst-case scenario possible, with a third case of the variant reported in the country. For this, in his first policy speech as Liberal Democratic Party leader, Japanese Prime Minister Kishida has pledged to take stringent actions against the COVID surge while promoting economic recovery.
The infection status of COVID-19 in Japan is currently calming down because of the vaccination that has been promoted with a sense of speed. However, even with the progress of vaccination, some countries in Europe have recorded the highest number of infected people ever. There is also a risk that the newly reported Omicron strain will be confirmed in many countries. The important thing is to prepare for the worst-case scenario.
Referring to the ban on foreign travelers, Kishida said he is ready to accept criticism for being too cautious against Omicron variant. Japan's Trade and Industry Ministry announced that a UN nuclear agency team's planned visit to the Fukushima Daiichi nuclear power in mid-December has been postponed until next year. The fear comes as Japan has witnessed an increase in new cases. Japan reported 115 new cases in the last 24 hours. However, this is much less than the previous peak caused by Delta variant, where the country reported over 25,000 daily infections. The government has added over 10,000 hospital beds for COVID-19 patients. Meanwhile, Kishida hoped for an approval of domestic oral treatment drugs by the end of this month. Besides this, Japan is set to roll out digital certificates for fully vaccinated people against COVID-19 by the 20th of December. The country will also shorten the current 8-month gap between the second dose and booster jabs in the country.
In this infectious disease crisis, we used overseas vaccines, but to prepare for the next infectious disease crisis, including mutant strains, we will develop domestic vaccines and drugs and manufacture them for dual use. We will make an investment of $4.4 billion.
Speaking on the stimulus package for an economic growth, Kishida announced a $319 billion supplementary budget to protect workers hit hard by the pandemic. In a bid to raise wages, the government would increase tax incentives for firms as well.
In order to protect the people's lives and livelihood, we'll examine all our options, including our capability to attack the so-called enemy bases and strengthen our defense posture, fundamentally with a sense of speed.
The extraordinary speech came when the government is looking to create a list of achievements for their campaign ahead of House of Councillors elections, which is scheduled for next summer. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.